Hello and welcome to the Cannes Parallel Challenge 2024. My name is Arno.
And my name is Matt, and today we're going to be speaking about Christophe Honoré's films Sorry Angel and Marcello Mio.
Christophe Honoré actually started as a writer for Cahiers du Cinéma. He's a stage and film director, but his first success in films was 7 times Cécile Cassard in 2002. But other notable films include Ma Mère with Isabelle Huppert, Love Songs, and The Beautiful Person with Léa Seydoux. He also had Winter Boy just 2 years ago. He's openly gay, and a lot of his films deal with queer characters and or gender identity. One of my favorites is 2019's On a Magical Night, and is an explosion of theatrical style while keeping the story grounded on a Paris block. Sorry Angel was the most notable film that neither of us had seen, and it played in Cannes competition back in 2018.
Sorry Angel is set in 1993 at the height of the AIDS epidemic, and it follows a middle-aged gay author named Jacques who is suffering from the disease. And we follow his relationship and his falling in love with Arthur, a 22-year-old who is still discovering himself and his place in the world, as they begin a relationship despite Jacques' illness. And to be honest, I found this one to be a little bit dull overall. It's very French, but to me it feels like the obligatory can must take this because it's French title that we seem to see every year. I didn't really find the characters in this to be overly compelling. To be frank, I just thought that the film BPM, Beats Per Minute, did a lot of this material better, including a lot of the act up stuff.
Both films have a similar subject, but here we're not dealing with activism, we're dealing with people living these lives. And what I guess I can say about this film is that I like the way it takes a non-sensational approach to this subject. It's very much trying to bring life and joy, without forgetting the sadness, into a subject that can usually be drab, miserable, and depressing. But this is Christophe Honoré, and Christophe Honoré really likes style, whether it's the camera movements, and especially in this film, the blue. The blues in this film, oh, they're magnificent. Look at the costumes, look at the sets. Blues, 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 every shade of blue is used in this film. It is wonderful.
Well, maybe I'm just blind, but I didn't notice that much at all.
You didn't notice the blues everywhere in this film?
It just didn't stand out that much to me.
Pardon? Like, that's legitimately like a major, like, how the fuck? You cannot talk about this film without saying how blue it is. It's like talking about Wes Anderson without talking about this, the how the cameras are all geometrical. Oh, I didn't notice that. You know, like, it's...
Like, I'm sure it was there. It just did not stand out to me whatsoever. I think one thing I did notice was how cold the film looked. And so that definitely has to do with the blues.
It's not just cold, it's blue, man.
No, but it
like
felt
that,
so
I don't know
cold
how you can
and
miss
drab and, like, icy. And I guess that's the coloring, but I felt that in the characters too. It just, everything felt drab, icy, chromatic in a way.
But it's not just drab. Like, you have Pierre Deladonchamp and Vincent Lacoste especially have a lot of charisma here. I can't understand, though, that you can see them being archetypes in some way. I think they have their own lives, and they have their own personalities and their own beliefs and feelings and whatnot. On a surface level, this film is not treading any new territory. It's more so on an execution level and on a character relationship level that I think you can get more out of this film.
I found it a bit dull in terms of the filmmaking technique. You talk so much about the style of this movie, and to me, I just found it a bit drab, like a bit of a chore getting through. Maybe I'm just off base when it comes to a lot of these French filmmakers, but like you were saying about finding light and finding heart within a tragic time like the AIDS epidemic, I've seen this exact premise done so many times, and I've seen it done, frankly, a lot better in a more compelling way with characters that I fell in love with a lot more. The prime example would be the musical Falsettos, which is just so stunning, but it does that same thing where it finds light and levity in the tragedy of this epidemic.
And while I did get a lot of things out of this film, I don't think this is absolutely new and absolutely fresh. I think that this is very much a film worth watching, and I can understand why French critics awarded this the best film of the year, even if I wouldn't go that far. But if anything, this film is exploding with ideas, even if they're not enough to hold a 2-hour and 10-minute film. Marcello Mio stars recurrent Honoré star and all-around celebrity Chiara Mastroianni. For those who don't know, she is the daughter of two of the greatest actors of all time. I'm talking about Marcello Mastroianni and Catherine Deneuve. Look them up if you don't know them. Umbrellas of Cherbourg, A Special Day, these are filmmaking legends. In this film, Chiara plays herself and she decides to transform herself into a version of her father and have other actors, yes, real-life actors also playing themselves, call her Marcello.
Including her mother. Catherine Deneuve is here playing Catherine Deneuve.
So cinephiles of French cinema are going to have a treat with this one. This will be too niche and not evocative enough for the jury to reward it. Maybe actress, but I have a feeling that Chiara will not quite be able to fool people into thinking that she really looks and sounds just like her father. And Chiara did win the acting prize for On a Magical Night in the Un Certain Regard section, so this isn't impossible.
Something that comes to mind is that it feels like Marcello Mio is a little bit too much of an inside joke for film industry people, as it is referencing what if the daughter of this famous actor decided to turn around and convince everyone, oh, I am my father, I am exactly my father, and you need to call me my father, kind of going into the method acting of it all.
All I can say is that I can't wait for the American remake where Willow Smith plays Will Smith.
Oh, this is a good idea.
In the next episode, we explore Italy's darkness and romance with Paolo Sorrentino's Il Divo and his new film Partenope.
Come get classical with us as we dive into this Italian master.